people about this sort of subject and like where to head next, and I feel like people are sort of turning to you as sort of like a leader, you know, to know like where to go, and what would you say the best is for right now for everyone is where to go from here?
Well, there's a couple of things you've asked me. One, I've been receiving a lot of responses from people who have been bullied. I don't know if I shared this with you. As kids, now they're adults. I receive letters, a number of letters from folks like that, telling me their stories, which has encouraged me to go forward. And also, I've received a number of responses from parents who don't know what to do, you know, because their child is being bullied, which also has encouraged me to go forward. Right now, you know, I would eventually, I think, would like to form a foundation of some type to work on anti-bullying and safety in schools. So that is what I think my long-term goal would be. But in the meantime, you know, I have people who call me and they say, well, can you speak at my group or whatever? And, you know, I try to, you know, accommodate everyone to talk to them and tell them Carl's story, because Carl can no longer speak, so I speak for Carl.
Absolutely. And I know you mentioned you have 3 kids right now, and how are they doing? How are they coping with everything?
One time I said I had 3 kids, and one pastor told me, he said, no, you have 4 kids, just one isn't present. And I said, yeah, that's true.
That's absolutely true.
And so, you know, I try to keep their schedule as normal as possible. My daughter, who's 15, you know, she of course is having a harder time than the 2 younger ones, who are 6 and 4, which they're having a hard time too. So, you know, we are all, you know, having professional help, which helps. And we also try to keep a normal schedule. You know, all my children were always involved in activities. I had 4 kids, all 4 played basketball. So, you know, my daughter has taken a break. She plays lacrosse, usually in the spring, but she didn't play this spring. My son plays soccer, and my daughter, she dances, and her recital's coming up May 31st. So we try to keep the same, you know, kind of routine. And we pretty much, you know, we haven't changed, but we're just more aware of how much we love each other. And, you know, if there's a problem, you know, talk to me, tell me, and we give a lot of hugs and kisses, which we always did anyway, but we do that a lot now.
Definitely.
You know, and, you know, I also want people to know that, you know, this is something that crosses all social, economic levels. It's not, you know, a white issue, a black issue, a Latino issue. It's not, you know, a rich, poor. It's not like gay, non-gay issue. It's really every level. And I think what's happened in the past as, like, because a person has been self-identified as gay or whatever, you know, that separated people from the folks who don't believe in that lifestyle. But I really believe if we can all join forces together and put this as a platform, as anti-bullying and safety in schools, that's what's going to push the momentum forward, so that it'll be for everybody, regardless of what they identify themselves with.
Absolutely. It's a human issue. You know?
Right. It is a really human issue.
Who do you think is responsible for sort of the betterment of it? Like, who is responsible for pushing the momentum forward of anti-bullying?
I think everybody can be responsible for it. For right now, until legislation is passed, which is what I would like to see, we're all responsible. If we see something, if we're in schools, you know, the other day I was waiting for my son's bus, and there was a bus that was pulled up alongside my car, and I was looking at the kids, and they were just really out of control. I mean, it was crazy. So obviously somebody was being bullied on the bus. I don't know. But it was just out of control. And one of the kids, the window was down. And he's like, are you waiting for somebody to get off this bus? Just like that. That's what he said to me.
Sassy.
And I said, you know what I said to him? I said, no, I'm waiting for you to sit down and behave. And he just looked at me.
Yeah.
You know?
Some kids aren't used to being
So
like that.
I mean, it's little things like that, you know? Anybody can start with that. A teacher can start with that. An administrator can start with that. You know, when I was on the Oprah show, there's a lot of silent witnesses to bullying because they're afraid that they're going to be picked on. But if they all stand together, you know, and say, hey, why don't you leave this kid alone, then they could stop it. So, I mean, we all can have a part and piece to it. And as you see, we're becoming, you know, the United States is just one big melting pot. I mean, we're getting people from all different countries, immigrants, you know, especially in Western Mass. So we're having people from different cultures, from different lands. So, I mean, you could see where it could be a bigger issue if it's not addressed.
Absolutely.
And it's a law. Yeah. It's like Amber, the Amber Alert. Yeah. Amber Alert started because, you know, she went missing, and then there wasn't any, you know, contact with this local one, you know, state contact, and all the states were. So now we have the Amber Alert. You know, we have Megan's Law. So, I mean, why can't we do something along the lines of bullying?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make sense to start at the State Department of Education or the local level, because then you're only affecting, you know, Massachusetts. And this is something that is nationwide. And it can be taught as early as elementary school.
Absolutely.
And we need to, you know, focus on the school districts that have these in place. I mean, try not to reinvent the wheel. If there's school districts that have this in place, let's study their module, and let's put that in place where we need to do. And put, you know, we have stimulus money for everything else. Why can't we have stimulus money for our schools in anti-bullying and safety issues?